4 years ago, we had the privilege, the historical honor and privilege to select a black president. That was 4 years later, and it's time to make a change again.
I think the I think the hype might still be there. I think a lot of times people look to whoever's in office as a scapegoat, where if things don't happen the way they want to, like, well, let's blame this person. Whereas he runs the country, but he has a team, like he has help in a sense, regardless of what. Like, employment has gone up, it's gone down. He got him in the Navy, whatever. They got Bin Laden. Did nobody else get him? And they got Bin Laden.
They got what's his name?
Yeah, Osama Bin Laden.
And
whoever would have went into office, Saddam Hussein, and whoever would have went into office would have had a tough task ahead of them. You know, I mean.
That's all. You know, they get gearing up for the new, election. And I do think it was just basically. Apparently 50% of the people voted for him just on the fact that he was black, and they didn't really truly understand what he stood for. Like I said, I think he should get reelected. I think people need to educate themselves on what he has done, and I think he's the best candidate for, another 4 years for this country.
Okay, but my thing is, like, I understand that's all well and good, but I just feel like the hype of having the first black president is now over. So I don't feel like, black kids or just kids in general are going to be like, I'm going to go back to the polls and vote for Obama, because, like, the whole craze of being the first black president, that's dead. Like, I mean, you had, like, countless celebrities backing him because he was the first black president. Like, you had Jay-Z and Beyonce and Mary J. Blige and Oprah all on his back. But now it's just like, now that whole, first black president thing is over, like, I don't feel that it's going to be, like, the same, masses running to the polls
but
to vote for Obama.
At the same time, if they simply voted, I mean, I'm not going to get into a controversy about why they voted, but if you only voted for Obama because he was black.
But that's what a lot of people vote for.
Right.
You already know that's what they voted for.
So if you think that there's another candidate, you've seen him in 4 years till our first black president got his chance, but if you think that there's another candidate that's going to suit the country better, then, I mean, if you're thinking about living in this country and doing better in this country, then you really need to think smart politically, not by choice of color. You know what I mean?
Because it's more than just, to me, it's more than just the color. Even back then when we voted for Obama, it was more than just the color. Everybody, of course, was starstruck with the whole, he's black, let's do it. But you got to think about it. A lot of these people that are voting too, which is kind of crazy, when we're sending these children and us to the voting booth, a lot of us really have no background on what it is to vote or why we're voting or information on a particular candidate or what politics is about, period. So, the first time was more about the numbers, just put the man in there. Now we have to go with statistics, what's been done, and competition, and what America really needs at this point.
And I think, honestly, not, I don't want to, again, not to be controversial, but I don't think that black people, let's talk about black Americans. They are not, by what he did has not affected black Americans, especially lower class Americans, directly. So they feel like he didn't do anything for us. They're not thinking on the bigger level, okay, political, world politics, he's done this, he's done that. They're thinking like, I didn't get extra food stamps.
Before we, make these uneducated assumptions and these ignorant statements, let's educate ourselves. Let's watch the news. Let's read. Let's really know about what we're talking about before we say these things. Know about politics. Know what it is a president's supposed to do and not supposed to do. Do your history. Focus on the things that has been done and haven't been done. This man only had 4 years. He came in here during a real turbulent time. It was shaky. Think about the pressure that man went through from actually just getting into the office to getting into the office and trying to make it through these 4 years. Let's really, really focus on what's important here. It's not about favoritism. It's not about popularity. It's really about the truth. And all I ask is that you at least go to CNN.com or watch CNN on TV and educate yourself. Because other than that, we're clueless. When he gave out the stimulus checks for the children, what was it? They were 8 and under. When everybody got $200 for each child, who I think were the ages of 8 and under, we were all Obama this and moonwalk that and living off the wall. Now we have other issues to take care of, and it's like, oh, F Obama, he's not doing nothing.
It's about thinking smart, though. He has to start from the top, the big things. The White House, the government, foreign policies, all that stuff affects our money and our dollar directly. And they're just thinking about their monthly checks. They're not thinking in the bigger picture.
And Harlem Children's
in Harlem, right? So they try to instill in children, like what they can do from a young age. So
Yeah.
they already know what they want to do, where they want to take their career path.
Right.
And they'll want.
But if your mother and father are,
as soon as they're
if
done,
your mother and father are steady waiting for the government to give them a check, then the kids, the same values are going to be instilled in the kids, and those expectations. President Obama is not working to fund the hood. That's not what his goal is.
I don't know. I'm not trying to be controversial either, but I'm definitely still pro Obama. Let's get that foremost and out there. My thing is, don't let the media and let people, influence you to not focus on what's going on.
But you think like that because like you're educated, but there's a lot of people who are not educated who are just like,
and that's why I'm
he's black, he looks like me, and I'm
and that's why I'm trying to make this statement.
That's last year, but now because they didn't get directly, they don't feel like they got funded. They feel like they're not going to vote. I've heard it from many lower income black people.
I'm not
going to vote for it. I'm not voting. I don't
because
care.
They felt like whatever it is that they thought he was going to do when he said he was going to do
free healthcare, all that
stuff. All that stuff has definitely taken place. It may not have affected you because you probably have healthcare, you probably have a job, full-time staff, you have, you know what I'm saying? But there are people out there that are giving, there's a healthcare provider called Health Plus. You know what I'm saying? They're definitely there for the broke people, specifically black lower income families. And there's definitely healthcare out there. You just have to even want to go get it. But Obama's gonna make it. He's not gonna knock on your door and say, "Hey, it's Obama. Take go help." Like,
some people,
I got your help.
But some people, they're like, okay, like somebody over here, this person might be paying $600 a month for healthcare. You have to pay $100, but you mad that you have to pay $100. You're like, no, I want it to be free. So they're not even thinking. They're just thinking like, I want it free. I want this.
I want it down.
I'm thinking about it
now. I'm definitely aware, and I will be voting for him the new election year. So, yeah.
He made it so that certain companies, I think if it's over a certain amount of employees, they have to offer something.
Well, clearly he didn't get to my job.
No, because they don't have
it's just like this. Like how we keep deferring our loans and getting forbearances. He's actually
bringing back.
He's bringing back consolidation.
That's
something. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. That's something that you have to actually be thankful for. Like
I'm gonna write a letter to him.
You need to thank him for that. Consolidating your loans.
I'm gonna need you to look
once you consolidate them, you can also put them to a point to where how much you win.
I need you to lower my student
At the end
loans.
of the day, I think that we've never really had a president and a first lady who was so hands-on. You know what I mean? As far as like working with the public, working with the American, you know what I mean? And then at the end of the day, if you look at the candidates that are running, one's a redneck, he's racist on the down low. The other one's like I love God, but you can't just be overly like, you know what I mean? If you have somebody, this is America, you built the country on this is free, we freedom of rights. This person wants to be gay. You can't have somebody that's overly religious because then what's going to happen is, you know what I mean? So I think at the end of the day, right now, he's still the best candidate because we've not seen anybody who presents himself or who's saying anything better.
I try not to get into the whole politic thing because, it gets kind of crazy. So I try to stay out of it. I just know you can log onto the internet and find out what you got to find out and make your decision from there. Don't base it on, the color of your skin. Base it on the content of the character.